Welcome back. You're now watching the political segment of the weekend show. We switched things up today for you. The topic of discussion is the alleged internally generated revenue mismanagement in the Abuja Municipal Council. Following allegations of mismanagement of internally generated revenue, IGR, of Abuja Municipal Area Council, AMAC, a group of civil society for human rights and rehabilitation last week stormed the premises of the area council in protest. The group had petitioned the legislative arm of AMAC, urging them to investigate alleged infractions committed by the chairman of the council, Abdullahi Candido. The group also accused the council chairman of disregard for Relevant Appropriation Act, Procurement Act, and other several infractions that could lead to impeachment if properly executed. In a petition addressed to the Speaker of the Council dated January 22, 2020, and signed by the FCT coordinator of the group, Comrade Joseph Jonah, he said the infractions were targeted at creating an opaque financial regime that is unaccountable and unregulated. The petitioners also accused the council boss of failure to furnish the National Assembly with quarterly status reports of the council's statutory accounts, noting that such action is subject to investigation by the lawmakers and other relevant agencies of government. On this program today, we have both the chairman of Abuja Municipal Area Council and one of the petitioners joining us. We'll have them on the program one after the other. So joining us on today's program, we have
with us Edwin Olorunfemi. He is the Director of Programs, Civil Society Groups for Governance. Welcome to the Weekend Show, Edwin.
Thank you. Good morning.
Edwin, what evidence do you have to level against the chairman? He has come out he held a press conference and said all the allegations that you have purported in the media are untrue. What evidence do you have?
Okay, thank you very much. I think there's a little bit of a mix-up. My group was actually the group that responded to the allegations against the executive chairman. We have done our independent assessment of all AMAC projects, and when this group came up that there's been embezzlement and misappropriation of funds and all sorts of allegations, we felt that, well, we have to respond as a group that has been following the activities of AMAC over time. So we responded immediately, and there is no any form of allegation against the chairman. I was on your program on Wednesday, Democracy Today, where the group that alleged the chairman, the leader, was present, and we discussed over the issues, and I was not abreast with the information completely. So we received an invite from AMAC for a town hall meeting so that we can get to know the details of the expenditures and the income and what. So I was there, and I felt it is very important I come on air to clear to make it clear to the public that all the allegations are not true. Civil society were present in the town hall meeting. Media people were present in the town hall meeting, and most of the figures that those guys were mentioning, as in they were banding around 19 billion or whatnot, they are not true. So we have confirmed that, and I've come to tell the public that they should disregard the allegation as false.
Okay, so yes. Edwin, interesting that you say that, but you also started by saying your team carried out independent investigations into these claims. Now, over the last 10 years, we've always had such allegations, especially because in Abuja, the chairman of AMAC pretty much is our mayor and governor, besides the FCT minister. What were the exact findings of your investigation? Did you actually work with AMAC to carry it out, or your findings were as a result of the town hall where they told you their own parts?
And as an addendum to that question, what methodology did you use to carry out this assessment?
Okay, it has been a little contribution, our group's contribution to national development. We track projects. Sometimes last year, July, we were all over the country tracking the programs of projects of Department of Rural Development under Federal Ministry of Agri. I was personally in Bauchi, and I would like to let you know, I would like to state something that most Nigerians are of the opinion that the government is not doing anything, and we just sit back. We don't. Maybe we just sit back in the city. We don't go to the interiors to know what is actually happening. So we traveled across the state. We go to the rural areas, and we saw lots of projects that have been done by this government. There are rural markets built across virtually all senatorial districts in the rural area. That's rural markets. We have roads and water projects that have been done. So those are the things we've been doing over time. And in the case of AMAC, we felt this is the seat of power, and we have to really know what is happening. We have suburbs, we have communities that are not really that...
So what you're saying is
Yes.
that between January 22nd and today, February 1st, your team, the entire civil society organization for good governance, went into the fields to perform oversight on these projects?
No. Before this issue came up, we have done our assessment. So when this group came up to allege the chairman, that the chairman has done nothing, that he has collected billions of naira from federal allocation and IGR, and there's no project whatsoever to show. And we, being a group that has embarked on an assessment of the project that has been done in AMAC, immediately I reported the allegation to my group, and I was given go ahead to respond immediately. So, and that's what I did. So I was not, I didn't have the information as regards what has been generated in AMAC or through IGR or federal allocation. But on that basis, I said I would be on ground to attend to the town hall meeting, so that I will know the figures, as in the money that is accrued to AMAC. And that's what we've been able to get. So there's a huge gap between what the figures that the group that is alleging are banding around. So we don't have anything to do with AMAC in the first place. We just embark on an independent assessment on our own. That is what we have been doing. That is how we've been contributing our own little quota to national development.
Edwin, so you were at the town hall and you were able to get your own facts and figures. But I'll pull you back to the assessment. Can you actually tell us at least 3 projects? Because you said in several areas people said the government isn't doing what they've been voted in to do. Based on your assessment, can you tell us 3 projects that stand out to you where you can say this has happened in AMAC within the last 1 year, based on your assessment?
Well, they are very numerous.
Yeah, tell us about some.
In the town hall meeting, all the projects were displayed, because I personally, I can't be everywhere. I was at Karishi. I saw a market in Karishi. And in Apo, there is a market in Apo through PPP projects. There are lots of projects, too numerous to mention. And all the people that were present, they came from all the communities of AMAC, and nobody objected to what is being displayed on the projection. And this is what we are on the projector, rather. This is what we came out with in AMAC after the whole program. So we were about to
tell us about that.
Okay, these are projects. These are a series of projects that is being carried out under the.
Okay, do you want to read out
Candido.
a couple, just so that the viewers at home?
Okay. Construction and fencing of a community town hall at Karishi. Fencing of a town hall at Karishi Ward completed. Establishment of AMAC Microfinance Bank. And I would like to even tell you that the performance of Alhaji Candido is unprecedented in the history of AMAC. Even a past chairman who was present at the town hall meeting, I judged him to have outperformed even himself. You understand? He has been using the security vote that is a norm with other chief executives to be siphoned, or maybe just being used for normal purposes and not accounted for. He used that fund, his security vote, to establish what is called AMAC Marshal. It's a security outfit under AMAC Marshal. He established environmental cadets, AMAC environmental cadets. These people, they were there in their uniform to even grace, to add color to the town hall meeting. So he has done a lot that we can actually, as nobody can be alleging him of non-performance or maybe embezzlement.
Okay, I think it's time for us to hear from the horse's mouth. As I said earlier in the program, we have the AMAC Chairman with us in our studios today. So we'll take a break, and when we return, we'll be joining him in this conversation. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the program. Joining us now is the Chairman of AMAC, Abdullahi Candido. Thank you so much for joining us at the program.
It's my pleasure, brothers and sisters.
Welcome, sir.
The guest before you has already held brief for what he terms to be a witch hunt of your administration. Can you tell me why these allegations were leveled against you and what your official response is to them?
I think it's a very simple thing to do. One, I've got to get this brief through personally, and I saw it completely as politics in action. Politics in action because this is, for me, a moment of trial and temptation. The people who are alleging, who are making these allegations, I sympathize with them, because if they go to these communities that they claim nothing has been done, right, they may likely be stunned, because I'm speaking the real fact, and the fact remains that what we have on ground are things you can see, feel, touch. They're just not something you can just imagine. You will see them. And these last 3.5 years, I think I have demonstrated leadership more than ever before, as far as the area council came to be from 1984 to date. I'm not saying others did not do the best they can, but I think it's a common analogy that my tenure, right, can better be seen as one of the best in the history of this area of this area council. And therefore, for anyone to come and allege maybe misappropriation of fund, nothing to show, and what have you, simply is political and politically motivated. But what concerns me more is that when you apply, you know, you make the whole thing looks personal, then I get so, concerned.
Speaking of personal, are you categorically saying on air today, over 2 billion people watching, that you have not appropriated or giving out any contract to any of your family members in your entire
in my entire life? I've never been a contractor, and I have served in this area council for close to about 10 years now. I was a former supervisory councillor. I was an elected councillor. I was also serving in that council as council secretary, and today, for 2 times, I'm now the chairman of this area council. Files are there, records are there, documents remain. We may go, pass away, but the documents are there. They should check. In the entire activity that I have ever found myself, I have never done contract with that area council. 2, my families are at home. And that is why even when I came on board, I never introduced what you call first lady or whatever. They are my wives. They do my routines at home. I have 2 families. None of them is a contractor. One is a classroom teacher, one is at home. There is nobody who ever even know how they... In fact, they have never even come to that area council to talk of maybe engage in 1 or 2 things, right? And therefore, for me, the whole antics is lazy. I sympathize with them. And therefore, I wish that once you make an allegation, you allow the institutions that will do the verifications, will do the intelligence gathering, so that you exactly know the true position of things. But when you personalize it, oh, AMAC chairman is corrupt. Oh, AMAC chairman has stolen funds. He has misappropriated funds. He has not followed due process. The records are there. And that was why I just say simply, the civil society that I usually brought, use for this kind of purposes, let me demonstrate a town hall meeting with them, which we brought a couple of civil societies and demonstrated for them to see exactly what we have done. And the brochure for what we have done is also demonstrated here. I would wish that, just like I keep saying, the AMAC Secretariat is open to all Nigerians. I am an example of a united leader, because so the moment I became the chairman, I opened the door for the area council, for all Nigerians to come and have, to participate. And therefore, that secretariat is open. The offices that are alleging, we have done this, we have done that, we have not done this, are also open. I want Nigerians to be free, so that at the end of the day, the right thing will be exposed.
Chairman, I like how you ended, because it leads to my question. You say you want Nigerians to be free.
Yeah.
As someone who stays in Abuja and people who don't know, I think one of the problem has been transparency, maybe not on your part, but on the part of the communications department. How much IGR does AMAC raise yearly, and how is this actually administered? Because one of the complaints is that AMAC makes so much money. We hear figures every year. We don't know the official figures. So talking about being free, it'll be good for you to categorically tell us about how much we make yearly in Abuja and how those funds are administered.
I mean, I'm a pedestrian. I'm a layman as far as the economy is concerned. But I knew that when we came in 2016, for only about 3-4 months, the immense AMAC revenue source is tenement. We had issues with, institutions, right? For instance, we were taken to court by some clients. The National Assembly had to intervene. It took us a whole 7 months in that 2016 with no collection. From 2017, from January till almost end of October, there was no collection. We had issues with both our, supervisory ministry and the National Assembly. And so there was no collection to suggest that, a lot of fund from the main revenue source, which is the tenement, could even come around. But we make do with the little other sources. And so when I got to be told that, AMAC got this chunk of billions, I laugh at it, because it is possible they are poorly informed. But because records are there, and that is my happy moment, the records are there, records don't lie, I have opened the gate open for every Nigerian, particularly even the clients, to come and make claim for what we have given, and then we are not seeing the service. So for me, like I said, being a pedestrian or being a layman, I want to believe that the only time we got reasonable amount of money from the main revenue source, I'm not talking of other revenue source, but the main revenue source, which they could maybe use to say, we are getting bunch of billions. It was only in 2018. And from 2018 here, we got a little money, which is open, right? We have a remitter, a process where the, economically is remitted to the council, right? Our partners take whatever percentage we have agreed between the area council and the partners, and then the remaining one goes to this account of the council. And so everything is transparent.
Do you have an estimate of what their figure is?
Figure, they said, put together, they said AMAC got a whopping sum of about 19 billion naira, and that is what made me to laugh. Okay. Both, the general allocation, which we get from the federal government, federation account, and the IGR put together for these 3 good years and where we are today, is, conservatively put to at maybe like about 12, 13, 14 million naira. Conservatively, I'm not saying it is.
Million or billion?
Billions of naira. But where they arrive at the 19 billion is what we don't know. But I say within the range of this 40 or 15 million or 15 billion naira that we have, the records are there. And I want to ask Nigerians to move, to come en masse, to make their findings, so that when I am found guilty, the institution that is supposed to, monitor and, put all the measures in place to penalize a criminal should be put in place for
Let me just make sure I hear you correctly.
Yeah.
You're saying that from 2018,
Yes.
that the federal government and the FAC allocation that comes to AMAC, as well as your IGR, is estimated to be between 12 to 15.
No, I mean from 2016.
From 2016.
Put together, yes, put together.
All together.
All together.
Is between 12 to 16
to
15 billion.
A billion, yes.
Okay, from 2016 till date.
Exactly.
And these are the projects that you've spoken about that you've
Yes.
carried out with that allocation that has been given to
Exactly,
you.
yeah.
So why do you think the Parliament went ahead to suspend you, giving these show or this evidence of the work that you've done?
You see, this is the second set of councillors I have. From 2016 to 19, we had 12 honorable councillors. 2 were able to return. The remaining 10 could not return again. The new set of honorable councillors are the ones now that are coming in during my second term. But let me put it that both the former councillors and the current councillors know truly well and better than the accusers that what we have put on ground is even benefiting their people. They know it better, and there is nothing that we do without carrying the honorable councillors along. And so they, like I said, is politically motivated. Right now, right inside them, conscience, if you have your conscience, which is very clear, you fear no accusation. Right now, all the honorable councillors, I want to tell you, and I'm convinced that they within them know that they are faulty. They are guilty of all that they have done. But of course, as a forgiving person, I have seen them as my brothers, and I have forgiven all the temptation, all the trial they put me through. I have forgiven them because I know right inside them, they also know that they have not done the right thing.
So since you say this, they already know. With time, we would also let you speak for yourself and tell some projects you've completed and started. But earlier, you spoke about how you are uniting leader, you bring your people together. So your council of 12, they are you work with them regularly.
Yeah.
And so these allegations were made and they went ahead with the suspension. How long is it for, and what's actually being done now? Because you just say they know that they were wrong and guilty. So do we just sit down and watch, or so what's the next step? What's actually going on?
I think I even have to correct this impression. I've not been suspended.
Okay.
Because you're still acting. You were in the office yesterday.
Even, I'm very active in my office.
Okay.
I left my office yesterday around some few minutes to 9 p.m. I was working. Nobody suspended me. The process that they put in place as to suggest that somebody was suspended was a kangaroo one, ineffective, right, and looks like a child play. There was no process leading to what could be better described as suspension. And to cap it all, no council in the Federal Capital Territory Area Council has the power, okay, to suspend or to impeach a chairman. What they ought to only do is to write to the National Assembly, House Committee on FCT and Area Council Ancillary Matters, making a case about whatever is their affair. For the House of Representatives, Committee on FCT or Area Council Ancillary Matters to look into their case, they only have one. They are the only authority that can as well suspend or even impeach or direct a chairman to step aside for investigation to be carried out, but not the honorable councillors in the legislative camp. But for me, I am in the history of this area council, I am even the best chairman so far that have given the platform for the honorable councillors to do their oversighting properly. And I insist, even that I'm passing through this temptation, I am still saying that they must live up to their expectations to do their oversighting, because put together the chairman and the councillors, put together will bring about good governance. And I cannot do it alone. And therefore, what I'm saying is that let Nigerians know, particularly residents of AMAC, that I have never been suspended. I am still the chairman of this area council. I will not leave this office until 2022 by the grace of God, May 20th, 2022, when I hope to hand over to whoever that God is going to bring as my successor.
It would definitely be interesting to see how all this plays out, but I would like to give you an opportunity to also speak on the initiative that you have been running for women. The UN actually tagged you as he for she,
yeah.
And you've been able to bring a lot of women on board into your cabinet. So speak to us about some of the projects and the initiatives that you have gone about for women.
Sincerely, The mere fact that my chairmanship does not have a first lady, that does not suggest that I don't have concern for women. Indeed, in my cabinet today, the council secretary is a woman. First in history of this area council. I've made the area council to be so united. I come from this FCT. I'm an aborigine of this area council. But I said, no, we must not do things the usual way, the way we have been doing maybe 30 years ago. We must widen the scope for other Nigerians to have a sense of belonging. My vice chairman is an Igbo man from the southeast. The Yoruba person from Ilorin here is the council secretary. A south person is my supervisor for finance. Then other native, we have the Hausa, we have other Nigerians, all put together making this cabinet. So the beauty is that among the other non-statutory positions, we have ladies, right, who are also occupying one position as special advisors, senior special assistant, what have you. The idea should be that I have confidence, right? I have a lot of respect and confidence in women, and they give you the best. And for me, what I'm achieving in women, sincerely, I'm not just being selfish, but what I'm achieving in women is more than what I'm achieving from through my men as my aides. Sincerely, that is the truth. And I'm proud of that. That I'm proud of the women who are serving with me in this government. It's not an exaggeration. I'm really pleased with that because they are giving me the best, sincerely.
Thank you so much. That's a fine place to leave it, Chairman. We'll take a short break right now. When we return, more on the Weekend Show. But in the meantime, don't forget to follow us on social media at Weekend Show NG.